I just couldn't believe it. I was like literally so upset because it's just like, I can't believe you would treat a customer so poorly. Welcome back to our channel. We are officially done with May, so you know what that means. It is time to recap everything that we accomplished in the month of May. If you are new here and you haven't seen our other monthly recap videos for the previous months of 2023, we will have that playlist linked in the description or at the end of this video, so make sure you check those ones out if you haven't already. We are on a journey to pay off our mortgage as soon as we possibly can. But our goal is September of 2025, which every time that we pass a new month, we are that much closer and that much more excited, and it feels that much more real and realistic and achievable to get to our end goal, which is to pay it off entirely. Yes, a lot of people think we're crazy for using our money to pay off our mortgage instead of investing or getting rental properties or doing this or doing that. But we're living our life for ourselves and for our kids and our little family. The decision that we've made to pay off our house, it is our own, it is personal finance. You do what's best for you. We do what's best for us. So every month we talk about what we've accomplished. Starting out, of course, with our mortgage, but of course our finances are not only inclusive to our mortgage. So we really talk about everything, paint a big picture of how our finances went in the month of May. So starting off with how much we paid to our mortgage in the month of May, we paid $4,555. Of that, $4,230 went to the principal and $325 went to interest. If you are new here, we do use any cash back that we get from our credit cards and we put that on our mortgage as well. We buy things that we were already going to purchase and put it on a credit card for the purpose of the cash back, just to bring that mortgage down a little bit more. In the month of May, we made $53.07. We put all of that on our mortgage, but I really love roundabout numbers, so I had to add the extra $1.93 to make it $55 even. From May 1st through the end of May, we brought our balance from $130,424 to $126,195. And we brought our scheduled payoff from June of 2035 to January of 2035. And it's crazy what just 1 month of extra payments can do for you to bring your payoff 5 months sooner. So if you are someone who feels like the little amount of money that you're paying towards debt every month isn't doing much, think about how much sooner you are going to pay that balance off with saving so much money from interest with paying extra money. I know when we closed on our house, someone told us, oh, well, don't worry about the balance going up like $2,000, because when you think about how much your payment's going to be, it might be like $50 or something like that. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm trying to get this mortgage out of my life as soon as we can. So however much money the balance could go up or could stay down, I want it to be the lowest possible. And unfortunately, that's the mindset in America. It's like, oh, well, that's only going to bring your payment up this amount or that amount. But really, if we thought more about how much we're paying in full for things, we would be so much better off. Moving on to food delivery. So as you guys know, I've been doing Uber Eats, DoorDash, whenever I get a chance to do it. In the month of May, I actually only did it one time, and I did make $110, which was great. I do think moving forward, though, I don't know that I'll be doing it quite as much, just because I've been taking advantage of overtime again a lot at my job. And really, when you think about how long it takes me to make $110 working like food delivery in comparison to how long it would take me to make that money doing overtime, it really just would make more sense to do overtime. On top of that, I can work overtime from home, whereas we have to spend gas and things like that for me to do food delivery. I always want to have the food delivery there for whenever it's needed. But I will say that I think I'm going to take a little break on it. But if you're someone who has no access to overtime, 100%, definitely take advantage of those apps if you can. Moving on to interest that was paid to us. If you don't have a high yield savings account, definitely take advantage of it. We save money every single month for sinking funds, things like that. So in the month of May, we had $50.48 paid to us in interest on our savings account. Typically, we'll just save that extra amount as well. It really just depends on what's going on that month. But last month, we did save that extra money. Helps us that much more. And the best thing about it is we've officially reached the 4% range in our savings account. We got an email just last week. Our APY on our savings account is going up. It was 3.85 and now it's 4%. If you are someone who does not have a high yield savings account, definitely get one. Like, I remember we had Chase Savings Bank like just years and years ago, and we would literally get a penny every month. Pointless, ridiculous. Be with a bank that's going to actually show you that they care about you. Moving on to eating out. You guys know we usually only eat out twice a month. In the month of May, we did eat out 3 times a month. I'm not gonna beat ourselves up about it. Sometimes things just happen. And as you guys know, we love food. So 100%, if it's something where we just are having a month and we feel like we need that extra day or that extra eating out moment, whatever, what have you, we're not going to beat ourselves up about it. We did spend a total of $66.22 eating out in the month of May. In May, of course, is Mother's Day. So like I said at the beginning of the year, we definitely had plans to treat ourselves on those types of holidays, like, you know, Mother's Day, Father's Days, birthdays, things like that. Definitely did eat out, and I actually just had a blizzard from Dairy Queen. Unfortunately, it was underwhelming, but I do love Dairy Queen in general. Sometimes you just don't know what you're gonna get, but I definitely want to treat myself. At the end of the day, these kids, especially when you have young kids, they don't care what day it is. They're gonna act just the same way they do every single day. Mother's Day, it was the typical type of day for me, which is just exactly what you would imagine it to be with a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old who love to fight over toys and just everything and argue and yell at each other, and you sometimes just want 5 minutes of peace, and you may get that, you may not. This Mother's Day in particular, I didn't get a whole lot of peace, so luckily I was able to leave, get maybe 30-45 minutes of me time, treat myself to some dessert, and come back home and continue my day. A few things that we had going on in the month of May. One thing I did do was cancel my Curology subscription. Usually, you know, having a good time with using the product and all that. I still have plenty of product left, but they did up the price a substantial amount, which just grinds my gears so much. But the way Curology bills is your cost covers a 2-month subscription. So before I was paying $40 for 2 months, and then they upped the price to $60 for 2 months, which is ridiculous. That is a huge increase, especially all at once, and I'm not getting anything in return for that. So canceled that. Don't think I'm gonna be back. Might explore other avenues whenever my product runs out, but I'm just gonna play it by ear. I just feel like that's not really you showing your appreciation for your consumers. You could offer something more for them having to pay such a huge amount of price increase. But that's just me. I don't own a business. I just buy the product, so you have to go by what they say. Unfortunately, with me being a consumer, there's another thing I had in the month of May that I wasn't happy with. We actually have had our Chase credit card. This is our 7th year having one. When we first decided to get this card, we were still actually in consumer debt actively, but we decided to put ourselves in a little bit of credit card debt so we could pay for a trip to go visit my husband's father, who was not doing well at the time, and they lived out of state, so we needed a way to get there. And we decided to get this credit card to take advantage of a balance transfer, 0% balance transfer, to be able to pay for airline tickets to fly across the country and to go visit them. We do not regret that at all. Sometimes you just have to do what's right for you. Unfortunately now, my husband's father has passed on, but like I said, don't regret anything about going to take that trip. Unfortunately, having to go into debt at that time to do so. At that time, that's what we decided to do to get that credit card. We've still had it since then. We use it for the cash back. We really just put our monthly bills like on there and then pay the balance in full at the end of the month, such as like our cable bill, Netflix, things like that. We use it for the cash back every month. Once the cash back is available, I go in there, I deposit the money into our savings account, move that money to the mortgage. That's what I do once a month, every month. In the month of May, I had redeemed our normal amount, but I noticed like within like 4 or 5 days, they had not put the money in our account. And now I did notice before that Chase would take the longest to deposit money out of any of our credit cards, but this time it was taking especially long. We got to like day 5, 6, 7. At that point, I knew there was something going on. At about the 11th day, I reached out to them. They said, oh, okay, we'll look into this. We'll reach back out to you in 24 hours. I waited 48 hours and no one had reached back out to me. So I called back and I spoke with someone who said that they were aware of this issue going on where it's not depositing into people's accounts. They said they're working on it and there's nothing they can do right at this time to rectify the issue. And I'm like, well, at this point, it's been about 2 weeks now. I don't have the money. Like, what are you guys offering for your consumers that are waiting and holding out? And this is cash back that you guys owe to them. What are you guys doing for your consumers? I'm like, can you guys deposit the money that I'm missing into the account now? And like as a courtesy, I mean, I've worked in customer service for basically my whole working life. I know that at times when a company messes up or there's something that's wrong with their system and it's not the consumer's fault, you do something to take care of your customer at the end of the day. This person told me no. I said, okay, let me speak to a supervisor because there has to be something you guys are offering for consumers not having their funds. I mean, I literally was waiting to make this mortgage payment because I didn't have all the money for the cash back. So then I was transferred to a supervisor. The supervisor told me that the issue's actually been resolved. I'm like, oh, wow, when? Like within like the past 5 minutes that I've been on hold. And they said it was like 5 days ago, but technically we need to count business days and you need to wait some more time for it to appear in your account. And I say, well, at this point, you know, I've been told 3 different things from 3 different people. It was the first person I spoke with that said it'd be 24 hours before my issue was resolved. The second person who said they're still working on the issue. There's nothing that can be done. Now you're telling me, actually, it's been like 5 days since this issue's been resolved and you just have to wait. So best customer service is going to be to do something to get this customer happy and off the phone. Like that's just what you do. So at that point, she began speaking over me. She began talking when I'm talking, like this whole thing. And I'm just like, I can't even like hear myself talk. How can you hear what I'm saying? And at that point she says, well, ma'am, you know, this isn't really going anywhere. Something along the lines of, this isn't really going anywhere. I'm going to disconnect this call. And I'm just like, you're going to hang up on me? Why? And she's like, oh, well, this isn't going anywhere. I'm going to hang up the phone. And I'm like, so you guys can click. She literally hangs up the phone on me. I'm like, how are you able, like me as a consumer, me who literally was taking calls for my job as recent as last year, you can't just hang up the phone on somebody because the call isn't going your way or because you feel like the call is going nowhere. I could see if I'd been on the phone with her for an hour, it'd probably been about 5 to 8 minutes at this point when I'd been on the phone with her. I just couldn't believe it. I was like literally so upset because it's just like, I can't believe like you would treat a customer so poorly to literally just hang up the phone on them. So I literally called back. I said, I want to close my account right now, immediately. I thought about it for like maybe 2 minutes while I was waiting to get connected back to Chase. Like the fact that I even had to call back after you just hung up the phone on me. So called back. I told this person exactly what just happened to me. They're like, well, maybe it was an accident. I'm like, no, they told me I'm going to hang up on you. And they hung up. Then I was transferred to someone else, explained to them what happened. They're like, okay, I'm closing your account right now for you. Literally didn't care, didn't acknowledge one thing I said about being hung up on, being treated that way, none of it. So I'm like, clearly I'm making the right decision. You don't care. This company as a whole doesn't care. So now we're down to 2 credit cards just like that. And it is what it is. Like any company that's going to treat me that way doesn't deserve like me as a customer. And I don't owe you anything. I'm giving you my money. I've never been late on a payment. I do what I'm supposed to do, pay my balance in full. I do the right thing, pay back what I owe you. Like that's it. And that's like okay for you to treat customers like that, then I want nothing to do with it. A simple, ma'am, I'm sorry, it can't be done is fine. And we could just hang up the phone, whatever. I mean, I probably won't agree with it because I think that you should go the extra mile for your consumers when your system is having issues, but hanging up on them is out of line and you don't deserve my business if that's how you do business. And that's the end of it. So if you follow us on Instagram, you saw me post about that a little bit briefly. Someone said I should probably still file a complaint with just documenting what happened. I don't really know. Comment down below, let me know what you think I should do. Over 2 weeks after the deposit was initiated, I did receive the funds. The only business I have left with them, since I did pay my balance in full, unfortunately I paid like $2 and something extra. So that's money that they're probably gonna send in the mail, and then the leftover cash back from the next billing cycle. That's what we're waiting on from them, nothing else. And after that, hands are washed of the situation. Don't want business with them ever again. Another thing that's happened as far as Chase, and it's funny because when we were closing on this house, they, in the middle of us getting real close to our closing date, they literally cut our credit line in half, saying that we weren't using the card. I was just like so upset about that because I'm just like, at least give someone a chance. At least say, hey, if you guys don't start using this card more, we're gonna cut your credit line in half. At least give someone a chance. But instead, they just straight up said, oh, we're done. We cut your credit line in half because you don't use it. It's just wrong. It's like, at least communicate. And so I told myself after that happened, I said, as soon as we close on this house, I'm closing this card. I don't want anything to do with it. And I never did, just because, of course, after time passed, and, you know, they're one of those companies that have that 5% rotating categories, and it's extra money at the end of the day. But after this, done. I don't want anything to do with them ever again at this point. So the only other thing that really there is to document about the month of May is the overtime challenge that I had been talking about. The last full week of May, I successfully worked the 15 hours of overtime, got up at before 5 a.m. almost every day. And then Memorial Day, I actually worked that full day, just like it was a regular shift when I was not required to do so. So the lucky thing is that yes, I got the 15 hours of overtime for the last couple of days of May. And but on top of that, I also will get holiday pay for working Memorial Day, 11 hours, which is amazing. So excited to get that check coming up here soon. So moving forward, we are still doing the overtime challenge, of course. And then after the first week of July, basically after June 30th, the last day that I plan to do the overtime challenge, after that, I'll be on vacation for the first full week of July. Perfect timing, super excited to just relax, try to deep clean the house. Hopefully I can actually deep clean the house. Last time I said I was gonna deep clean the house, didn't get to it, but you just get so busy. And then on top of that, our oldest has a birthday that week, so we're gonna be very busy, but we're gonna do everything we can to just get things back in shape. You feel a lot better when your house is clean. But that is it for the month of May. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think of everything I talked about today, and we will see you in our next video.